Hello, hello, and welcome to another Chrissy After Dark. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Let me get in the chat room. Hello, hello. Yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas. Mine was fabulous. And I just wanted to come on here because I haven't done a Chrissy After Dark in forever, and a live stream in general in forever. And I don't know when I'm going to see you guys again because it'll probably be after the new year. So I just wanted to come on while I still had the chance to come on. Hey everybody, hey. Yeah, and I just wanted to do a chill live stream before I make content that's going to piss y'all off again. Something chill, something, some light work or whatever, and let you guys choose the topics. And if you have any questions for me, let me know. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope you guys didn't, work too hard and exhaust yourselves this holiday season. I did pretty much all the cooking and the hosting. Oh my goodness. Me, my mom, and my sister. I'm still kind of like exhausted from helping my mom host Christmas. So but I did sleep pretty much. Well, I didn't sleep all day yesterday, but I slept a long time. I think I slept like 10 hours Christmas night. And then yesterday I just kind of chilled and relaxed. And then today working, and now I'm live with you. Lady, good for you. She said, I didn't do anything. I know that's right. And you deserve it, boo. You deserve not to do anything if you don't want to. Even if it's the holidays. If you don't want to do nothing, you don't have to. You know? Yeah, so y'all got weight loss questions around Christmas? Okay. That's what's up. Y'all thinking about getting it started for the new year? Getting in the gym? I know that's right. Lemonade TV says, I'm currently 296 and I want to lose 150 pounds before dating, but I'm almost 31 and I feel like my childbearing years are running away from me. What to do? I would definitely try to get that weight off for sure. You don't have to wait to lose weight to start dating, but you will have better options when you lose weight. And I don't know how you carry your weight, but you may not even have to lose the whole 150 pounds before you start attracting better options. So, maybe you want to say after you lose, I don't know, 60 to 80 pounds or something. You know what I'm saying? I have not listened to SZA's album yet. I have to listen to her album. I did listen to Flo's album and it was really good. My favorite song on there is Soft. I just listened to that. So, yeah, I definitely need to listen to SZA's album. Y'all know I'm not a big SZA fan, but I heard it was good. So, I don't know. What do y'all think of the album? I'm definitely going to check it out. Yeah, get your steps in, 10,000 steps a day. Yeah, and that's harder than you think. But what I do to get my steps in, I just walk up the stairs, up and down the stairs. That's the best way to do it. Or you can get one of those little steppers on Amazon to get your steps in. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not a huge SZA fan. Not really, no. But I'm starting to get into some of her music. I like Saturn. Um, so I'll let you know if I like the album after I listen to it. Yeah, Selena says it's hard when you're not always outside. Yeah, the more you are active and you go places, the easier it is to get your steps in. But if you're a homebody like me, then yeah, you are going to have to get a stepper, okay? Walk in place or go out in your apartment building like I do and just walk up and down the flight of stairs, up and down, up and down. That's just what you're going to have to do. And let me tell you something. If you don't eat right, you're not going to lose weight. So, I know it's the holidays, but if you're going to have a piece of pie, just have a little sliver. Just have a little sliver of pie, a little triangle, if you will. And just control your portions. That's all. And in one of the live streams, somebody talked about intermittent fasting. That definitely works as well. But you just have to burn more calories than you take in. That's the secret. It's not really what you eat, it's how much you eat and how many calories you take in. Ashley says a sliver girl by. Listen, that's what I do. That's what I do when I'm trying to watch my weight. I'll just, change the portion size. And I think for me, like, it's been a little bit more easier this holiday for some reason. Like, I think because I just been running around doing so much, it's been easier, like, not to eat. And then when you finally do sit down and eat, you're not hungry because you've just been cooking and running around the whole time. So, oh, Rayo, that's a good tip. Get a dog, it forces you to take walks. Yeah. I watched a little bit of Beyonce Bowl on Christmas, just a little bit of it. I'm not a huge fan of her country album. But of course, what I did see of the performance, it was pretty good. I heard y'all was dragging Blue Ivy. I saw something. It was on Twitter. Maybe it was on Instagram. I don't remember where I was looking, but like people were dragging Blue Ivy and saying she didn't do a good job. I didn't see the part with Blue Ivy though. So I have to watch the whole thing. Yeah. Peyton says, yeah, but it's about health as well. So what you eat matters. Yeah, of course. I mean, eat your veggies and your lean proteins and less carb and all that stuff. Yeah, what you eat is very important. But all I'm saying is that it doesn't have to be so restrictive if you just watch your portion sizes. That's all I'm saying. And for me personally, I don't like heavily restricting my diet. Like that has been my downfall in the past. So like if I have a craving, I'm going to have that craving. I'm just not going to eat a lot of it. Like if I want chocolate, I'm just going to eat a little bit and then leave it alone. So you got to have discipline, that's all. You got to have some discipline. And see, for me, keto is a little bit too restrictive. Like, I can do low carb, but I can't do keto. Keto is just a mess. Miss Skittle says, "Hey Chrissy, what's your top 5 New Year's resolutions?" I'm actually one of those people that does not do that. Not at least on the typical New Year, like the start of the calendar year. I do it on my own personal New Year on my birthday. That is when I make my New Year's resolutions and I start something new. I don't really, do that at the beginning of January. And that's honestly when everybody should do on your birthday. I mean, if your birthday is January 1st, then yeah, do it at the top of the year, but it's better to do your New Year resolutions on your actual New Year. Casanova says LOL or just go on Ozempic. I don't know, girl. They said Ozempic sometimes causes stomach issues. So I don't know. I don't know. Jocelyn Jones says food portions will surprise you when you actually start tracking how much you eat. Trust me. Yeah, and get a food scale. I've said that several times before. If you want to just start out just doing like serving sizes, like if you're eating something from a package, start out with that and just weigh your food. Yeah, that's my advice. Because I notice like when I'm too extreme, that's when I tend to fall off. When I'm extra extreme with my diet, I just completely fall off. So I just have to, pretty much eat what I want, still eat healthy, eat what I want, just control the portion size. And good luck to you guys. Like, I'm happy that you guys are, taking your health seriously, getting right for the summer. Good luck to everybody. Oh yeah, My Fitness Pal. That is a really good app. I agree. And listen, if you don't feel like meal prepping, if you have the money, get a good meal prepping service. That is a lifesaver. That is a game changer. Herculean is one of the best ones. That's the one I go to. I believe they ship only in the States. They might ship outside of the States though, like in Canada. I don't know. But it's called Herculean. It's a meal prep service. The food is good. And what I really like is personally, like when I meal prep, I don't like eating the same thing every single day for like 5 days in a row. I don't like that. So if you don't feel like, making your own meal prep, then you can just go through a service and you can have something different every single day if you want. And it's healthy. It's just so convenient. So convenient. I haven't tried Factor. I'm going to have to try Factor, JoJo. Yep. And if you're fasting, I mean, because what I do is I just fast naturally. I only eat like twice a day. And what I do is, well, I take that back. I eat twice a day. I may eat two snacks as well, so about four times a day. But I'll make my own breakfast, like a small little breakfast, and then for dinner I'll have a Herculean meal, and then I'll have a couple little snacks like trail mix. Sometimes I do a granola bar or something like that, fruit, something like that. So if you're fasting, you don't even need to order a lot of meal prep meals. You don't even have to, have a lot of them because you're only going to eat one a day. You know what I mean? And it doesn't take that long to make breakfast, so you can make your own breakfast. Divine says, I'm going to Cancun this summer. I must be snatched for this bikini. I know that's right. I'm going on vacation this summer too for my birthday. So yeah. But I've been doing pretty good this holiday season. I haven't been doing a lot of sweets or anything. Samantha says Ice Spice weight loss. Was it extreme, Chrissy? She does look small, but she doesn't look sick to me. So, girl, if she want to be that small, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. And y'all have to understand too, like with entertainers and artists, it gets to be a little bit much if you have too much weight on you. When you're moving around, you're dancing around, you're doing all these shows, you don't want to be carrying a lot of weight on you. So I have a different outlook on that because I have experience with the music industry, so I know how it is. And it's not just about, trying to like live up to the beauty standards. Like sometimes you just feel better in your body as a performer being smaller. So if she just feels better smaller, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. Yep, Lizzo. I think Lizzo looks great. She looks great. JoJo says Herculean meals look good at first glance. Someone needs a sponsor. I know they need to start paying me, okay? Because I really do be promoting Herculean like crazy. Oh, somebody said Chloe and Burner Boy. I don't know too much about that young man. Does he have babies all over the place? Because I don't know too much about him. But I don't know. He looked like a bad choice. He looked like a bad choice. I just, it's just the names of these rappers. It's like you can just tell Burna Boy. It just he don't sound about the right. He doesn't sound mature. He sounds like a little boy. Yeah, and hopefully Chloe is just having her fun right now and she's getting this out of her system. I just hope she doesn't get pregnant by one of these dudes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Is he? He's older? How old is he, lady? Okay. Chloe, I hope this is just, something fun and short. I didn't know he was older. Okay, 33. Okay. How old is Chloe? When you said older, I thought the nigga was like 40 or something. Okay, 33 is not that old. I mean, 40 is not either, but you get what I'm saying. I thought you meant like he was in his 40s or something. Josh, how do you say your name? Jocelyn? We're praying, we all praying she just having fun. I hope so. I hope so. Okay. Okay, y'all clearly don't know how old Chloe is. It's several different ages in here. But we know she's in her 20s. Okay, girl. I'm going back up and reading some of these comments. Casanova says, "What, Chrissy? I read an article that said Ozempic is helping older women 50 plus get pregnant." Excuse me? Wow. Hmm. Oh, I missed that earlier. What advice do you want for IR dating? Crystal says, "Wasn't he seen with Naomi Campbell earlier, though?" Who, Burna Boy? I can't. I don't know much about him, but I don't get good vibes. Okay, I don't get good vibes. Okay, and why was Naomi Campbell with him? Why? Why? That is a mess. Hey, Beulah girl, how you doing? Naomi just ain't Naomi a Gemini. You can't. Gemini just be all over the place. You can't take them seriously. And this is coming from somebody who is a Gemini rising, Venus and Gemini. You can't take us seriously, okay? you can't. You can't take us seriously because that's crazy. Um, Ashley Doll, who's both cancers? Um, Burner Boy and Chloe. Oh Lord, that's not good. That's gonna be chaotic. We ain't been on that long, Beulah. It's just been about 20 minutes. And I ain't staying out here all damn night with y'all. I say that, and then I'll be on here for 3 hours. I don't think I'm gonna do that tonight, though. Ralph says, "Hi, Chrissy. How did you spend your Christmas?" with my family and my friends and my people. We had a good time. But let me tell you something. All that cooking is crazy. I had to tell my mom, I'm like, how did you do this with small children? Like, how did you do this every single year with small children and a husband? I mean, I guess my stepdad, he helped a little bit with cooking. He didn't help like that. And then, like, I was on cookie duty again this year, right? And I had to be over my mom's house. Well, technically, she did the homemade cookies, okay? I didn't do homemade cookies. I did sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies, and they were Betty Crocker. However, I fucked up a batch of the homemade cookies last year, so my mama told me to come over Christmas Eve so I could watch her make them this year so I wouldn't fuck them up. And so I went over there on Christmas Eve and we were baking cookies, decorating cookies. And my mom, she also made Jamaican oxtail stew. I don't know why she decided to make that this year, but I helped her prep for that. That shit took forever. I didn't leave her house until 2 o'clock in the morning and then got up Christmas morning, went back over there to help her finish everything. Crazy. It's just too much work. It's too much work. And just imagine if I would have done like her and made the cookies that I made homemade. Like, that's just too much work. Redhead honey, Chrissy, she said, I asked my mom the same thing. I don't know how she did it. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I asked her, she was like, we just did it. Me and your grandma, we just cooked. That's just what we grew up doing. And when I tell you my mom and my grandma, y'all know, the people who know, who grew up with women who cook, black women who cook, you know that everything is homemade. They do everything the long way. It's too much fucking work. It's just crazy. And then all the prepping, yeah, they gonna make the dough the day before, making all the cookie dough and shit the day before. It's just too much work. Jojo said I had to rest all day Thursday. Let me tell you, yesterday I slept for 10 hours. Christmas night, I slept for 10 hours. And I thought I was gonna be fast that night, okay, with my male friend. I thought I was gonna be fast. Girl, I couldn't even make it. I was tired. I couldn't, like, he came over and we basically just went to sleep. That's all we did. I couldn't even get none because I was so fucking tired. It's just crazy. And then it's like every year I try to like get around it, but it's too much work. Redhead Honey says, Chrissy, just go to Mrs. Fields next year or get a cookie tray from Sam's Club. Merry Christmas, y'all. You know what? I don't go to Sam's Club because there's not one around my house, but I'm gonna start going because you ain't the first person I heard that like kind of be hyping they stuff up. So I need to go see what they're about, clearly. But I will say, because another thing is, because I've been raised with like homemade food, I'm a little picky too. Like, sometimes I don't be wanting stuff that's not homemade. I can do certain cookies, but some stuff I can't really do. And the cookies that I fucked up were the Mexican wedding cakes last year. I fucked those up. I really don't know how I fucked them up. But last year they were like burnt at the bottom and then the middle wasn't done. I don't know what I did wrong cuz I followed the instructions, and then this year when I actually watched my mom do it, it's like I did the same thing. So I don't know what I did wrong last year. I don't know. But they were delicious this year cuz my mama did them. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm just kidding when I say I was being fast. I'm just playing. Dang, y'all ain't gonna call me old. Damn. It's just a fucking joke. Y'all like, how you 40 and you being fast? Because it's a joke. That's why. And no, I'm not 40 yet. Don't be trying to rush me into 40, damn it. I'm not 40 yet. Oh, that's funny. Yes, I preheated the oven, my word. Of course I did. I don't know what I did wrong. Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe I put, because I did put two cookie sheets of the cookies in there at the same time. And I noticed that when I do that, like sometimes they don't cook properly. And well, I mean, that's the only thing I can think that I did differently from my mom. Because this year, she put one cookie tray at a time in instead of both of them. So maybe that's what I did wrong. I know, y'all. I know. I look, I'm not tripping about getting old. I used to be kind of like funny about that, but I think I'm okay with it now. Christina says Whole Foods Bakery. Thank me later. Whole Foods Bakery is hit or miss. Like I really like their croissants, but some of their like their pastry, their sweets aren't that good. It just depends on what it is. So yeah. But other than all of the labor, it was a really good Christmas. No, we don't have a central market. Mm-mm. We don't have a Publix here. We don't have a what is that other one everybody talks about? I forget. But we have Whole Foods, Sam's Club, Costco, Kroger, Meyer, which I think Meyer that might be only like a Midwest. I don't know. Is Meyer only Midwest? I know it's like not everywhere. I do know that. Cuz my friend in New York, I know it's not in New York. At least I don't think it is. Yeah, we have Aldi here, but ours is raggedy. like in some other places I've been to in Aldi's, ours is not the same at all. So I don't know. We have Boston Market. I don't like Boston Market food. At least not here. We don't have it. I don't like it here. Cuz everything's not created equally. Like for example, that the Whole Foods down in Atlanta is so much better than the one here. I don't know if it's because it's more black people that work down there, but I feel like the Whole Foods in the South are much better than they are in the Midwest. In my experience anyway. Cause I don't know, I was in it. I don't know what Whole Foods that was down in ATL, but I said this hot bar go crazy. The hot bar was crazy. It's not like that here at all. At all. Not even a little bit. So it just depends on where you're at. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have a Wegmans. Is that how you say it? We don't have that. I have to agree. Inanna says the food overall in the South tastes better. Definitely. Definitely compared to the Midwest, it tastes better. And it's just more options down there too. So even, you know what? I won't say the whole Midwest because Chicago has good food places, which is right next door to me. So you're going to find way better food in Chicago than you are in Indiana. That's just what it is. So, it just depends. But generally speaking, the South has better food, obviously. Yeah, Chicago is that girl. Yeah, you can find some good food places. I mean, it's they got good shopping places in Chicago too. I mean, it's way better than Indiana. Way better. So, Britt Mars says I'm a proud Midwest girl though. Me too. You know what? I talk a lot of shit about the Midwest. I do, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm an introvert, but I prefer living in like a slower state and traveling to the bigger cities, if that makes sense. Like, I want to like come back home and be in a calm, slower environment, slower pace environment. But when I feel like turning up, then I can just go somewhere else. You get what I'm saying? I'm one of those people. Like, I don't want to live in the middle of the chaos. I don't prefer to do that. Yeah. And I mean, it's nothing to hop on the plane and go somewhere, or go on a road trip, depending on, how close something is. Oh yeah, Tana Rail, that is that girl. I'm loving her music right now. I have been to New York, but I don't really remember it because I was a kid. So I definitely need to go back to New York. And I want to go and really enjoy the West Coast, like California, because like it's like every time I'm there, I'm working. So like I really want to just go enjoy Cali. And I've been all over the South because my stepfather is from the South. So I've been all over the South, as well as the Caribbean, because that's where my dad is from. So I have to watch Dochi's Tiny Desk. I still haven't watched it. There's so much stuff I got to catch up on. I've been busy, y'all. I've been super busy. What? And yeah, I don't care what nobody says. I love living in a red state because I like firearms. So I love being in a state that is heavy on the Second Amendment. That is one thing I love about living here. Barbie Boy says, I see you as a California girl. I love California too. And yeah, I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah, I'm pretty much living in two places right now, low key. And one is on the West Coast. So I'm back and forth, but I'm not permanent in that second place yet. But I will be very soon. But yeah, I love the West Coast. I love it. And then my sister has this thing where she doesn't want to live on the coast of anywhere, and she fear mongers me about going to coastal places like California, Florida, on the coast, because she thinks, like, for example, she thinks Florida is gonna fall in the ocean. Like, she's my sister is very, very pessimistic. And so she's like, you don't want to live there because it's going to end up falling off. And she's talking about all like the wildfires in California. And she's like, all the wildfires there and your house is going to catch on fire. Like, she is so pessimistic about everything. And so, like, she has me second guessing myself, because she makes sense at the same time. You know what I'm saying? She's one of those people where she's very pessimistic, but she's also a realist. So she's like always looking at like the worst case scenario. And so she does not want me to live there even part time. Yeah, I know, but I love California. And you know what I really love about California? Like we were talking about food earlier, it's just so easy to be healthy in California. It is so easy to eat healthy. Like there's so many really good vegetarian options, vegan options. You know, we don't have a what is that place called? We don't have a kava here. Is that what it's called? Kava? And I'm like, why don't we have a kava? Like we don't have a lot of places like that here. And that sucks. Katie too says, LOL, I'm like her, but shit, at least I'll die happy. I was born and raised in a coastal city and can't live long term somewhere that isn't that. And that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, okay, well, shit, if I die, then I mean, at least I'm happy. You know, I don't know. Purple Rosa says, I'm going to take my chances, kind of girly. See, we love the people that live on the edge. You feel me? We do have a sweet greens here. And to be honest, I prefer cava over or kava, however you say it. I've only had it once. Okay, I can't even remember where I was at where I had it, but I've only had it once. But I remember liking it more than sweet greens. But at the same time, I've only had sweet greens maybe like 3 times. So I don't even think it's been here that long in my city. Valencia says it's only one kava in Chicago. Yeah, see. Huh. That is one downside of living in a smaller city. It's like we get everything last. Everything, I don't know. Just like the restoration hardware um restaurant, we just got that, like, has it been 2 years or something? We just got that. And what else did we just get? Like, it's just everything comes here late. Lizzie says, born and raised in California, very expensive and not always black woman friendly. Good weather, food, beaches, and coffee. Yes, and that's another thing I love about California, the beach. But you're right about that. I've definitely hear the girlies talk a lot about the colorism in California and the racism. So yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But I don't want to live there full time anyway. I just want to be there part time. That's all. And that's another thing. Indiana has no beaches. I mean, I think there's a couple beaches like on in the suburbs, but yeah, we don't have a lot of beaches either. Mm-mm. Too Pretty Red Dime says Indiana Beach. No, ma'am. Why are y'all in here trolling? Please stop trolling me. Braids Like Brandy says living in Cali is how I discovered Chrissy's content. Yeah, my top demographics are in Los Angeles, California, and New York, New York. So interesting. I think New York is the top demographic. So I was like, wow, do I need to go to New York? Do I need to? But listen, everybody I know who lives in New York tells me that I don't want to live there. And I need to get more familiar with New York. Amara says, now I want some soul food. Girl, I am soul food out. You didn't have soul food on Christmas and Thanksgiving? Girl, it's time to move on to something else. I want some sushi. I think that's what I'm going to eat tomorrow. Yeah, New York is a little bit crazy. Isn't that where that lady just got caught on fire? One of those migrants set her on fire at the subway station. Crazy. Green Silver says the way you talk about being an introvert and liking a calm space seems like NYC is the furthest place you want to live in. I agree with that. I don't think I would want to live there either, but I do want to visit and get familiar with it because I don't remember really anything about it because I was so little when I went there. Yeah, that is one thing I hate about. I hate the. Well, I'll say this. I kind of like looking at the snow. I think it's pretty, but I don't like being in it. Mm-mm. Yeah, I saw that video and it just, oh, that video was heartbreaking of that woman burning. Oh my God. Just terrible. My World says, how do you find out the state's info and analytics? You go to, where do you go? I think you have to be on the desktop to look at the actual analytics, but if you go to, I think it's audience, if I'm not mistaken, and then you go down to geography and then um something like that. I can't really remember all the way. Shanice, are you new here? I've been doing Chrissy After Dark for years, babe. And in the past, we used to get real spicy on the Chrissy After Darks. We haven't done that in a long time. So, did y'all enjoy all the content last week? I really feel like I was a real YouTuber last week. Period. Period. I was a real YouTuber. Okay. I feel like I need to be celebrated for that. Okay. Thank you very much because I am never that consistent ever. Now, I can't promise you that all the time, but I was really on my shit last week. Yeah, I can't make no promises because I got shit to do. I'm literally busy this whole weekend up until New Year, New Year's Day. And then my schedule is free again, like on the 2nd. So, Cuz says, Chrissy, do you edit your videos? Yes, because I'm anal and I want them to be a very specific way. And I can't outsource the editing. I tried, I just can't do it. I really need to get over that, but yeah, I do edit my own stuff. I have an assistant though that takes care of like my emails and everything, but I have to edit my own videos. I just have to. Oh, Selena says I really like the second channel content. Thank you. Make sure you guys follow the second channel. I should be posting over there next week. I was trying to wait to post again until I got monetized over there again, but I need like I think 500 more watch hours to be monetized over there. Well, it's monetized, but it's not like the AdSense is not monetized yet. I still need like 500 watch hours. Um so yeah, but it's really close to being monetized again and I really plan on releasing videos over there real heavy next year. Selena says, can we give character analysis suggestions? Yes, send them to askchrissy@gmail.com. So I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like the content. Purple Rosa says, how do you have an assistant while maintaining anonymity? It's a virtual assistant. It's not like a in-person assistant. Yes, it's a virtual assistant. Yeah, because I was like, dang, I wish I could be a real YouTuber all the time like this. Hmm. Serene says, "Hey, Chrissy, can you leave the How to Vet Men series until the 10th?" I'm not sure. I might extend it. I don't know. I talked a little bit about Beyonce's performance earlier. I didn't watch the whole thing. I have to go watch it. Ralph says, "Has any subscribers recognized you by your voice in public?" No. That hasn't happened yet. No. Divine says, "I love the How to Vet Men series. Helped me a lot. Thank you. You guys, I'm taking it off the website as of now, January 1st. So if you get it before then you'll have lifetime access." So I guess like the person who asked me earlier, do I have any New Year's resolutions? I don't really have any resolutions, but I am like starting a clean slate, I feel like. Like with this the second channel, the website is gonna, start a clean slate on there. And I have some plans to put some new stuff on the website. So I guess that's how I'm kind of resetting for the new year. It's not really a resolution, but because when you think about it, like my new year, my real new year starts in July, and that's usually when I do my new year resolutions on my actual birthday. But January is like my half new year. And I forget what the significance of that is in astrology, but it has some significance. If somebody knows, put it in the chat. I can't remember what I read about that. But yeah, I mean, if you're a person who feels like, it just feels right to start, you know, or have new year resolutions on the at the beginning of the year, the calendar year, then go for it. Whatever helps you get motivated and become a better person, do whatever. Wait, what? I don't know why I thought you were Selena, I don't know why I thought you were a Cancer. Yeah, the bleaching accusations had nothing to do with her hiding her channel, you guys. And she'll be back, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But she will be back. T, what specific questions do you have on interracial dating? I feel like I've had to block a lot of black men from my channel because of my last few videos. And they have really been triggered about the interracial dating content. I mean, really. Well, I mean, I feel like I haven't even done interracial dating content. That is what's very interesting about. Like I may mention it in certain videos, but Like they've been sending messages to my website, and I don't even, by the way, whoever, if you think you're going to troll my website, the first thing is I have your IP address, okay? For those of you who are trying to troll me on my website, I can find out who you are. That's the first thing. The second thing is I don't get those messages directly. My assistant does. And, she'll mention them to me, but I don't actually see them all the time unless I actually log in to look at them. So it's like you're not doing anything. I don't know what you guys think, what you guys are getting out of that. I just think it's weird for you to like take time out of your day and then try to curse me out on my website. That's weird. Star says they are so obsessed and unhinged. I mean, it's really an obsession. It is really an obsession. And I'm like, it's okay. All you have to do is not watch the content. That's it. And I just like, I don't know. Sabrina says there are some people who whole content is responding to you and other similar YouTubers. It's scary. It is. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine coming on YouTube, making an entire channel just to talk about other YouTubers. Like, and them bitches and niggas ain't getting paid like that. They're not even getting paid to do that. And they're just wasting hours of their lives responding to me. That's weird. I mean, if I'm on here for hours, I'm getting paid a decent amount of money. But they're not getting paid like that. And they're just talking about me for hours on end. That is odd behavior. It's weird. And some of these same people, they'll be like, "Oh, and you don't have a life, and baby, this is a job. This is my second job. This is a part-time job. I'm working right now. I'm getting paid right now. What are you doing? How much do you get paid when you talk about me for hours on end? How much are you getting paid for that? That's crazy." I guess I'm saying that because I would never spend that many hours on somebody and not be getting paid. That's weird to me. And they be the same ones talking about, "Oh, you're not living your best life. You're not doing this. You're not doing that." Girl, I'm getting paid. What are you talking about? YouTube pays me pretty well for just sitting on here talking to y'all. So when I'm doing this, I'm actually working. So doing YouTube is part of how I live my best life. But, I guess I shouldn't complain because they're part of the clout too. They're part of the reason why I get paid on here too. So I guess I shouldn't complain that much. You know? Thank you. I mean, thank you for the clout. Thank you for the viewership. Thank you for the, shouting me out because you're sending people over here. So I guess I should say thank you. Kaylee says, was it because of that NFL player? I mean, it was because of him. They definitely didn't like that video. But they really got triggered, like the Hoteps got triggered by the Umar Johnson video. That was when it was like I was noticing that I had to block more men than usual. Then it's like, if you're not dusty, then you shouldn't be getting offended by the content. Like, that's how you know they're dusty, because I don't feel like dusty men would get offended by what I say. And it's very refreshing not to have to deal with that shit offline. And then for the person, I don't know what kind of interracial dating advice you want, But this is why I said a long time ago, and I kind of mentioned it in that video, but this is why it is so refreshing not to date black men anymore. And, it's no shade to the women who still date black men, but it's a level of, what's the word? It's refreshing, and it's a level of carefreeness, kind of like when you date out, because you're not dealing with men who have a complex when it comes to their manhood, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying all black men have that. I have dated black men who don't, but I think it's a lot of black men who have that, even if it's subtle. It's like, because they're black men, they have a complex when it comes to their manhood. And with me, I've told y'all this before, but I can leave the black politics online and just go live my fucking life. Like, when I turn off the computer, it's like none of this exists, and I can just go live my life, and like nothing is happening. But black men, and especially pro black men, they can't usually turn that off. So you'll always have to deal with them feeling like they don't measure up, and that gets exhausting. It's exhausting. And there was one guy, that one of the trolls that I had to block, and he was like, "Oh, you want to be a white woman?" And it's like, I don't. That's another thing you don't deal with usually when you date non-black men. You don't have to deal with, them thinking you want to be a white woman just because you want a nice lifestyle. You get what and I'm not saying that all black men are like that. I think some of the high earning ones usually, I would say, honestly, if I'm just being real, the black men who don't think like that are the men that the hoteps would call coons. Because they're more of like lifestyle men. They don't think it's quote unquote white to want to live nice. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just don't want to, like, I'm not saying that interracial dating doesn't come with its own set of issues. It can, right? But it's just that specific black community dysfunction you don't have to deal with in interracial dating. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, and and I try my very hardest not to politicize my dating life, but I am not attracted to black men anymore. I can't bring myself to be. I'm just not attracted to them anymore. I'm not saying that won't change in the future, cuz y'all know I'm a changeable bitch, okay? I'm very sometimey, I'm very changeable. So, I could be saying something else 2 years from now, but as of right now, I am not attracted to them anymore at all. Like, the attraction is not there at all for black men at all. It's just not. I mean, I guess that's why they're mad. I guess that's why they've been trolling me. But it's like, listen, if somebody says they're not attracted to you, why would you then troll them? That's weird. Like, when black men online told me that they didn't care about colorism and they don't like dark skinned women and they hate my channel, I wasn't trolling them. I wasn't like harassing them. I just left them alone. And I stopped being pro black and I stopped being pro black male. That's what I did. I distanced myself from them. I didn't troll them and harass them like a fucking weirdo. I just don't understand you being obsessed with somebody who says they don't like you. That's weird. It's so odd to me. Siren says, what changed? Everything. Like, just the way that they are. I had a very romanticized outlook on black men, or opinion of black men, when I came on here because of the black men in my family. I thought that every black man was like them. And then when they showed me that they were not, of course, people want to call as soon as I get on live. But when I learned that they were not all like that, and they started fucking stalking me online. And it wasn't just, what happened to me personally. It was just learning the collective mindset of black men and black people, to be honest with you. I am disgusted by them, especially black men, but I have a whole new outlook on black people in general. I'm not saying I don't like all black people, but I don't like most black people. I just really don't. And I mean, I don't like most people in general because I'm an INTJ and I don't like people like that. But I especially don't like the dysfunction that is specific to the black community. I despise it. I can't stand it. I don't like the self hate. I don't like anything about niggas like that. Just, I don't. I don't. That's how I feel, and I can't force myself to feel any other way. That's just, I feel like when you're in my position and you deal with a critical mass of black people on the daily basis, you get to see their nature. You get to see their behavior and how they act and their personality and who they are. You learn them better. And I don't like y'all like that. And when I say y'all, I'm talking about black people. I'm not talking about the black people with some sense. I'm talking about the masses of black people that don't have sense, which is most of y'all. So no, I don't like most of y'all. I don't. And I can't lie about that. But my point in saying that is like, if somebody is telling you they don't like you, why are you harassing them? Why are you stalking them? Why are you following them everywhere? That's weird. And then black men, another thing I've learned about black men since having this platform, they are very competitive with black women, which to me is very effeminate. And that is such a turnoff. Men who compete with women, extremely, extremely unmanly and just unsexy. It's unattractive. And maybe it's some of my internalized misogyny, but I like very masculine men who compete with other men, not other women or not women. And black men compete because let's just be honest, because black men are lowest on the totem pole socially, they can't compete with other men, they then compete with black women. They compete with black women sexually. They're all over the internet bragging about being more desirable than black women, like they're women. Like they act like girls, they act like females. They compete with us professionally to make themselves appear more masculine and patriarchal. It's like they're overcompensating for their failures. So, for me, it's just multiple reasons why I don't date black men anymore and why I'm not attracted to them anymore. And, attracting black men and attracting high earning black men, that has never been a problem for me. But since learning who they are mentally, most of them, it's just more enjoyable. It's a more enjoyable experience for me to date non-black men. It just is what it is. That's just what it is. Lizzie says, Chrissy, do you wish that you started dating interracially in your early years? Do you think it's a class issue with dating in the black community? I actually did date non-black men in my early years. Non-black boys, I should say, when I was a little girl. The first guy I kissed was a white boy named Joey. It was my babysitter's grandson. So, and I dated a Filipino guy when I was younger. So it's not new to me. But as I became older, I had my little pro black phase and I only dated black guys for a minute. But girl, I've been all over the place. You have no idea. If you lined up all of my exes, they all look different. All of them look very different from each other. And it could be that Venus and Gemini, where it's like just, I like variety. I like a little bit of everything. So I never had an issue, dating non-black people. It's just when I had my pro-black phase, especially when coming online, I really believed in the, pro-blackness. I believed that the community wanted to come together. And I felt like because I was pro-black, I had to only date black men. And thank God I woke up out of that shit. And what was the other part of the question? Do you think it's a class issue with dating in the black community? It can be depending on the situation. You know what I'm saying? I feel like how do I put this? In my experience, class is less of a factor, especially like when you get with black men. Here's the thing. There's not a lot of class issues in the black community because most of us come from lower class families. Most of us come from either poverty, working class, lower class families. So if you are going to get with a high earning black man, it's chances are he started from the bottom, you know, and he had to work his way up, right? So that's not really an issue to me. In my experience, it hasn't been. What's an issue for me is the mentality of black men and black people, the dysfunctional mentality, the colorism, the misogynoir, the a lot of times the stinginess that comes with high earning black men. You know, if they're not outwardly stingy, it's something about them that's very frugal and stingy. Like, you know, they're always afraid of losing their wealth. Or it's the opposite of that, where they're real showy and they feel like they got to show off. It's so many different things. And you know, I will say that's a little different when it comes to African cultures. I mean, they're showy too, but it's showy in a different way in the African and Caribbean cultures or whatever. But I will say this as well. I like American men. So that's another thing with me, whether they be black, white, or whatever. I'm not really into foreign men. I'm American. I like American men. So I'm not really open to dating other nationalities. You get what I'm saying? That's just my personal preference. I'm not big on accents. You know how a lot of women think, oh, accents are so sexy. I don't think so. And my daddy has a very strong, thick Caribbean accent. I'm just not into that though. I'm not into that. But I've had the opportunity to date, you know, black men of other nationalities, but that's just not my thing. So, you know, I will say the class and culture situation could be a little bit better probably if I would have expanded my options to non-black or black men of other, you know, nationalities, but that's just not my type. So, but either way, and then even like with some of the Africans, they don't really fuck with Americans, black Americans like that. They don't fuck with us like that. They don't want a lot of their children marrying black Americans. So that's another layer you would have to deal with, possibly, potentially, if you were a black American woman dating an African man or Caribbean man. And so my whole point in saying this, to me, for me personally, as a black woman who grew up working class, came from the inner city, it's been easier for me to date out. It's just been a better experience. It's just been easier. And I'll also say this, class, when it comes to non-black men, I'm not going to say class is not an issue, but it is less of a factor when you get, again, with high earning non-black men who are self-made and did not come from wealth. And I said this before, and this is if you are a black woman who didn't come from wealth like me, and most of us did not come from wealth, right? So when you get with a non-black man who does not come from generational wealth, but who has leveled up through his, you know, privilege of being a non-black male, especially if he's white, there is less concern with pedigree when you both have a similar background, if that makes sense. Bree says, girl, the black community is so backwards that they're calling any corrective promotion for us anti-black. Blackness equals degeneracy based. Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Like, if any sort of success for black people is Eurocentric and it's white, then what the fuck are you to do as a black woman who wants to enjoy nice things and who wants to level up? Like, you almost have to go outside of the community. You almost have to if you're a black American woman. And it's not to say, again, you can find a minority of black men who don't think like that. But girl, it's like a handful of them motherfuckers. Like for real. And then if you think about you gotta find the ones who aren't colorist. That's another thing. You gotta find the ones who girl, it's just too much work. It's too much work. I'm so sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. Wait, are there trolls in here? Who do I need to block? Yeah, look, and it's not hard to find because when I was talking about non-black men, because specifically, if you want to talk about white men, okay, we'll use white men as an example because that's the demographic of non-black men who date black women the most, right? Most white men don't come from money, contrary to what people are saying online. Like most high-earning non-black men had to build themselves up, right? Now, they do have white privilege, so they don't necessarily start at the bottom, right? But they don't all come from super rich families. Like, and people will always like use Meghan Markle for an example. They'll be like, "Oh, well, you see what happened to Meghan Markle? The royal family didn't want her in there because she's half black. And what if Meghan Markle couldn't swirl? What makes you everyday black women think you can swirl? As if we're all going to be dating Prince Harry's. Most white men they don't come from royal lineage. Like, so I mean, that's not even a good example, right? Most black women are not going to have the experience Meghan Markle had marrying into the royal family because most white men don't come from that. It's not that difficult with most non-black men in everyday life. Now, you may have to deal with the racism coming from the families and the friends of some non-black men, but when it comes to class and pedigree, it's not a big of a deal as most of y'all think it is. Like, usually the non-black people family, especially if it's white people, if they're not racist, the second thing they're going to be looking at is, oh, well, do you have a degree? What do you do for a living? And we know black women, we're some of the what are we, the top demographic that's enrolled in college. We don't have a problem with getting degrees. Black women don't have a problem with getting decent jobs. So that's why I said y'all need to go outside and experience life for yourself because it's not that hard to date out. It's really not. It's not. Especially if you're an articulate, educated black woman who's doing well for herself, it's not that hard. Yeah, JC says, I honestly don't have anything in common with the majority of black men I come across. I just don't like how they think. I don't like how they think. I don't like how black people in general think. And it's really hard. Like when you're woke, it's hard to find other woke black people. Phyllis says, let's talk about black mothers who are jealous of other black women and enable their son's bad behavior. Oh, that's another thing. You might have to deal with his irritating ass mama. That's another thing with black men. Not saying you don't have to, you might not have to deal with that with non-black men, but y'all know how a lot of these black women are with their sons. So it's just so many different levels to this shit. Okay, tell me who I need to block, y'all. Because y'all are saying, where are the mods? Because apparently I'm missing the troll comments. Oh, okay. Let me get him out of here or whoever. Hold on. Is that our person? Are they a black male? And you know what? The thing is, what's so interesting is that they can say the same shit about black women. They can be like, oh, it's just so much easier to date non black women because they don't have a complex about being black and they're more carefree. And okay, fine. But you notice how that is just fine for them to say. But when we say the opposite, when it comes to non black men, then we're self hating, we're bed wenches, we're this and that. And you know what? Maybe that's really a thing. Maybe black people, and I'm specifically talking about black American people here, but because I'm black American, even though foreign black people have their issues too. Don't get me wrong. But I'm specifically talking about black Americans right now. We have a certain kind of trauma, right? As black American people in this country. And so I can see how it can be more stressful for us to date each other. And because I'm not attracted to black men anymore, I can understand. I don't feel any type of way if a black man says, it's less stress dating a non-black woman. I understand, motherfucker, because it's less stress dating y'all. I understand. And because of the trauma, maybe some of us really don't need to date each other. You feel me? I feel like two woke black people, either it's going to work out really well or it's going to go all the way left. So I think the black people who date each other and who actually make it work are either they're both really self-hating, so it can work. They not woke. They ignore a lot of the black politics, so they don't really give a fuck. So it works out. But when you have somebody who is woke as I am, no, I cannot date most black men. It's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. So, it is what it is. And hey, I can understand y'all being mad about that, but that's just how I feel. The thrift queen says too much stress and struggle. It is. It is. And I mean, when you think about just think about what I deal with having this channel. Just that alone, dealing with the dysfunction of black people, just having this channel. And then imagine trying to date a black no. Mm-mm. And I don't even think I'm jaded. I don't think it's not like a resentment there. It's not a, oh, I just hate black men. I don't hate them. I'm not resentful. They don't, I don't go to sleep thinking about black men and how dysfunctional and horrible the community is. I sleep very well at night. It's just one of those things that I've accepted and I just can't do anymore. I just can't do it. That's just what it is. It's an acceptance and it's just I refuse. I can't do it. But there's no anger there. I'm not mad at them. They think I hate them and I'm mad. I'm not mad. I've just accepted that I can't do it. Yeah, and I think people confuse realism with being jaded. It's the difference between being jaded and being a realist. You get what I'm saying? It's a difference. 201 star says, is there a particular race or culture you prefer? I prefer white men. I'm gonna go with the whites. That's my personal preference. Turn the page says white men don't take directions from their moms. Some of them do. They do. But it's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic. That's all I'm saying. And what I will say is the white men who date black women and who are comfortable in their choice dating black women, no, they don't take direction from um their family members. Nia says, when you say not attracted to black men, do you mean physically or mentally or both? Both. just I'm just not attracted to them anymore in any capacity. Like I don't look at them and be like, "Ew, they're ugly." I don't necessarily think that. I don't think black people are ugly. I will never think that. But I don't feel anything when I see them. Even the cute ones. I might think, "Oh, he's nice looking," but it's not like a, "Ooh, he can get it." It's not that at all. Yeah, that's not there anymore like it was before. Y'all remember when I used to go in on, what was that nigga's name? The real dark one, the chocolate one, Donnell something. I forgot his name. Like when I look at him now, it's just like, okay, he's nice looking, but it's not like, ooh, that's not there anymore. That's not there. And the something else I want to say is because I'll say that, and because of how I started on YouTube, people will be like, "Oh, I don't believe that you can just change your type like that." Yeah, we can. We can change our minds. We can change our type. And I think black men are so arrogant. I've said this before a long time ago. Black men are so arrogant that they don't think that we cannot be attracted to them anymore. They're so arrogant that they think that our attraction to them can't go away. But it can, and it's because of your actions that make it go away. And ladies, it does not matter who does or does not believe that black women can change their type in men or change anything. We don't have to stay in the box that other people put us in because they're comfortable with us being in that box. If you decide, if on Monday you said you were going to date black men and on Friday you said you didn't want to date them anymore, you have that fucking right. And it does not matter who does not believe you. You can do what you want to do. All that matters is what we want for ourselves as black women. Black women are allowed to change and want different things no matter where we started from. If you grew up in the hood and you decide you want to get out and create a better life for yourself, that's okay. You don't have to stay in the hood just because the other people in the hood want you to stay there. If you dated black men for 20 years and then you decide you want to date out, that's fine too. You're allowed to do that after 20 years. You can do what the fuck that you want to do. And what gets on my nerves is people who really think you can't change your type. Like, how do you think that it's impossible when you can hear black men talking the way that Umar Johnson talks? Talking the way that all of these black men in the manosphere talk. What is sexy about that? What is attractive about that to a heterosexual woman who likes masculine men? How is it impossible to change with all of these man babies on the internet talking shit about black women? Like, what do you mean black women can't lose their attraction to black men? Look at what y'all do. That's what's crazy. It's crazy how arrogant they are and they think that we can't not be attracted to them. That shit is crazy. I'm just saying. Think about how full of yourself you have to be to think that with the way you act like a whole female. And to think that you really think that black women can't lose their attraction to you just because, oh, I'm a black man. I'm the original man. I'm king. Oh, nigga, please. And you're on the internet acting like a girl. No. Any logical, sane, heterosexual woman who likes masculine men would lose their attraction to you. I mean, that's just what it is. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels this way. It's just unsexy, you know? Yeah, Redhead Honey says, well, Chrissy, first of all, they don't think there's anything wrong with their behavior, so they can't understand why we don't like them. Okay, I gotta. Oh, Kings. Okay, so why aren't you conversing with the white women that like you? And see, this is what I'm talking about. This conversation is mainly for black women. So why are you here, Kings? Why aren't you in, I don't know, a white woman's live stream or a non-black woman, or I don't know, some of the hoes that y'all go overseas to get a passport bro stream? Like, why aren't you over there talking to them? This is what I'm saying. They're like masochists. They flock to people who don't like them. It's really weird. And see, they think that I'm here for them. I think that, for the black men who are confused, when I talk about you, it's not for you. It's not to get your attention. This is for women. This is for, and specifically black women, to help them with their dating and their social life. It's not for you at all. It's not to trigger you. It's not to get you to be more attracted to black women. It's not for you at all. Like, I don't know what you think this is. Um, R&B says, I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard to find black men desirable. They come off as spoiled children. Exactly. At this point, it annoys me when other black women sing their praises. Girl, yes. And they can, that's the thing I don't like about these women. It's like they try to force black men on us. It's not gonna work, ladies. We don't like effeminate men. We're just those black women who don't like that. We like masculine men. Yeah. Yeah. Guys, this channel is not for you. It's not to help you. It's not to make you upset. It's not to trigger you. It's not to do any of those things. It's to help black women. That's what it's for. And unfortunately, I have to talk about you guys sometimes to help black women, but it's not for you. Yeah, I love the way Beulah puts it. She says, let me tell y'all, this is a channel for it's an anti-poverty think tank for dark-skinned women and girls. I love that title. I love that label. That's exactly what it is. And unfortunately, when you talk about them, they're gonna come and listen. But it's like, don't be mistaken. This is not for you at all. And we don't care if you did. I mean, did you hear me say, what was his name? King. Um, you heard me say that I don't like you. So why would you then try to trigger me saying that you're going to date white women? Go date them. I think that you should. Cause I'm sure gonna date they brothers and they daddies. So, I don't know what you want me to say, King. We're even. Have fun with your white girl. Mm-hmm. Miss Felix Cata says, thank you for being open and honest, Chrissy. It's a shame how much the community lies about what's been going on just to protect feelings. Redhead Honey says, Chrissy, when did you write black men off completely? Um, After my ex. It's been almost a few years now. And something else I want to say is, um, ladies, your options in men don't completely go away when you get older. They just change. Because that's another thing that a lot of my detractors like to throw at me. But ladies, if you take care of yourself, it is not hard attracting quality men in your 30s and 40s. The only women who think it's impossible are women who let themselves go. I'm just being honest. If you look a mess, you let yourself go, you gain a lot of weight, and you in your 30s and 40s and you look like you're in your 50s, then yeah, you're not going to have a lot of options in men. I shouldn't even say 50s because black women look damn good in their 50s. But, and I will say this. Obviously, if a man wants a younger woman, that's what they want. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, I can compete with 20-something year olds. No. You in your 30s, 40s, you can't compete with a 20-year-old. You can't. That's just ridiculous to even say. For the most part. And to be honest, personally, this is just me. I don't want to compete with 20-something year olds, okay? Because older men who like much younger women, they usually have issues, okay? They have issues and flaws that I'm not trying to deal with, okay? I prefer my men slightly older, established, very well established. So for me, my options, this is just for me personally, my options have gotten better with age. Now, for the young women looking for men, I pity you, okay? I can understand why y'all are having a hard time dating because young men these days are struggling financially. They are. They are. Um, but if you're a woman who likes older men, you do have options. You may not have as many as you had when you were in your 20s, but you have them, especially if you take care of yourself. So, don't let these men or women, because women be on here talking crazy too, but don't let them scare you and think that you're just not going to be attractive to anybody and you just have no options. Sometimes your options might be a little bit better. I'm just saying. Especially if you don't have kids, you take care of yourself. And I feel like only male identified women and misogynistic men think it's impossible for older women to date. Like there are older women, divorced women out here dating. I just don't see where y'all think it's not possible. That's just weird to me. If it wasn't possible for older women to date, then how do women get divorced and then get remarried, when they're older? Like it just doesn't it doesn't make sense, y'all. So when you hear this kind of stuff online, just take it with a grain of salt and just go out and experience life on your own. That's all I'm saying. And stop letting people shame you. If you don't want to be married, if you don't want to date at all, stop letting people shame you. If you don't want to, you just don't want to. And that's another thing that's wrong with a lot of these male identified women and misogynistic men online. They think it's impossible for women to actually be single by choice and to not want marriage and children by choice. We're out here. Because let me tell you something. I told you, Christmas, Thanksgiving, that was exhausting for me. I couldn't imagine doing that with children. I couldn't imagine doing all that work with children and then a job on top of that. And that's why I asked my mom, how did you do this? How did you do all of this with 3 children and then you had a job and then you had a husband? How did you do all of that? That's crazy. So no, when I think about all of that work, you think I want to do that for or do that with some kids and a dusty? Hell no. That does not sound like a happy life to me. So, I think for real, the holidays make me appreciate being single and just doing what the fuck I want to do, and especially living alone. I like being able to have people over when I want and have them leave when I want them to leave, or going to visit other people and then coming back home to my bed by myself. I love that feeling. I love it. And that is just me personally. And so if you're a woman who likes that feeling, don't let people shame you into sharing your space just because it's something that society tells you that you're supposed to do. Oh, you're a certain age, you're supposed to be married by now, you're supposed to have kids. If you don't want that, then you just don't. And, if you're worried about what's going to happen later, you just have to deal with whatever consequences that come with that. You just have to accept it. I'm not saying it's all, you know, sunshine and rainbows. I do think about, okay, I think about my retirement and who am I going to have as my power of attorney. I've had this conversation with my niece and nephews. They're going to be my power of attorney. If something should happen, there are certain things if you don't have children that you have to plan for. So I'm not trying to make it seem like, it's just all fun, because it's not all, you do have to think about some very serious things when you don't get married and you don't have children. But on the flip side, who's to say that your children are even going to be there to take care of you? It's some children that put their mother and father in the nursing home and they just go off and live their lives. So if you think you're going to have children just because you want somebody to take care of you when you're old, that might not happen either. So, bottom line is, do what you want to do. Do what is best for you. If you want to have children, have children. But if you don't. Yeah, Selena says exactly, nothing is guaranteed. Yeah. And I just know me. I'm not mother material at all. Not even a little bit. I'm not saying I would be a bad mother, because I don't think I would. Well, I don't know, girl. I don't know. I'm selfish as hell. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I might be one of them fucked up mothers. Who knows? Thank God I ain't having kids, because I'll never have to find out. Yep. IP freely. Why is that your screen name? What's the reason? What is the reason? She said, no one is obligated to be our caregiver. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and see, I knew when I was a little kid that I didn't want children. I always knew. I just knew. I felt it all in my spirit. Like when as kids you play house as kids, and I just remember, like, all of my other friends who were girls, they would be like, "Yeah, and this is my baby," and this I never wanted to, like, have children. I never saw that for myself. Even when playing house, like, I never saw myself as the mommy. Oh, I'm the mommy and I'm taking care of my baby. And yeah, I used to have the little dolls, but I like the dolls because I got to do their hair, and because I like to dress them up. That's why I like the dolls, not because I pretended that they were like my children. Like, ew, I never wanted that at all, ever. So, Legally Curvy says, this life is so lonely. I wouldn't dare bring a child into this world. I don't have a one friend I'd ever want that for my offspring. Yeah, and have y'all heard of, like, the antinatalists who are just completely against, like, childbirth and human existence? Like, I wouldn't say I'm to that extreme. Like, it's definitely not that for me. Right? Because I feel like the people who want to have children, I feel like, hey, I get it. You know, it's a biological urge for most people. I understand. I totally get it. Have at it. Um, but I do understand them on the point like this world is fucked up. And most of your children, let's just be honest, they're not exceptional people. They don't live exceptional lives. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just basically you're birthing slaves pretty much that just have to live in this horrible world, and most of them, have to work and slave for the rest of their lives. I mean, I guess that, you do create good memories with people for the most part, but even some of your family members ain't shit. Like, I can count on one hand how many family members I actually like, that I would actually be friends with if I wasn't family with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl. So it's like, I don't know. I'm an INTJ, y'all. I don't really like people like that. So I can really do without most people. You get what I'm saying? Most people ain't shit. My world says I'm an anti-natalist. I understand. I understand. And I was thinking about like on Christmas, I was like, if it wasn't for my mama, would I be doing all of this shit for real? Like, would I be doing all of this work, all of this labor, all of this cooking? I try to be grateful, right? Because I know that everybody doesn't have family. Everybody's not blessed with family. It's people on the holidays that long for family connection and want to be around their loved ones. And so I don't want to take that for granted at all because I do love my family. But girl, they get on my fucking nerves, girl. Most of them, I don't like most of them. Like I said, I can count on one hand. My mom is my best friend. Me and my sister, we're getting along better. My brother, he's I, you know, I can count on one hand. I don't like hardly none of my cousins. My niece and nephew, I love them. They get on my nerves too, but I do love them. And so that's one hand. You feel me? My immediate family, that's it. All the rest of them, I don't really like them like that. I don't have to be around them. Coco says, I don't think antinatalism is extreme, especially with the current quality of life. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, most people's quality of life sucks. It sucks. And y'all think y'all gonna have all these exceptional kids. Oh, my child is gonna be president one day. And girl, what is the likelihood of that? I'm sorry. I'm so not trying to be like a pessimist. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just like I'm like I said, to me this is reality. Like the truth is most if you're going to have children, most of them are going to be basic and average. And I mean, is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. But I feel like a lot of people who want kids, like you don't think that. You think that you're going to be the one to have all these special, exceptional children when most of the time that's not what you're going to have. And that's not how people are, and then when we add the layer to it, like we talked about earlier, when we add the layer of blackness to that and racism and everything that your kids are going to have to experience, sexism, misogyny, misogynoir, girl, you just gotta really really want to be about that life to birth a child into that. You really have to be a very optimistic person. That's what I'll say. Okay. Melissa says, Chrissy, what's your big three again? My sun is in Cancer, my rising is Gemini, and my moon is in Aries. Legally Curvy says, my parents lucked out with me, but being exceptional comes with so much loneliness. Yeah, and that's another thing. If you are exceptional, do you know how isolating that is? You know how isolating it is to be like the oddball out of everybody, and I'm definitely that person. And my family, among my friend group, you know how INTJs are really rare? Yeah. I'm the one who a lot of people think is a little bit weird, a little bit eccentric, you know, and because, I'm the one with a lot of the talent, the natural talent. It's isolating because you don't have a lot of people who are like you. And don't get me wrong, because I'm like that, it's very easy to make friends. It's very easy to make friends and it's very easy to be around people, but you don't find a lot of people like you. So you don't necessarily want to be around those people all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at. I'm very happy being alone, very happy in my solitude. But can most people handle that? Can most humans handle that? No. Most people can't be isolated for a long period of time and without other people. Most people aren't strong enough to live that life. I am. Bitch, I don't have to see nobody. I swear to you, I wouldn't have to see another person for a whole year. I wouldn't give a fuck. Maybe my mom. That's about it because she's my mom. That's the only reason. That is the only reason. But I wouldn't give a shit. And so here's the thing, but most people aren't equipped to handle that. Most people need other people. They need human interaction on a constant basis. I don't need people like that. Jelly says, Chrissy, now stop. True isolation is not good for us. So they say. So they say. I know that, Jelly. That's why I force myself to be around people. But do I want to be around them as much as I am? No. I force myself to be social. Do I want to be social as I am? No, I don't. I don't. I'm just keeping it real. I don't. And to think about how exhausting the holidays were. Oh my God. Jelly says it's good for you though. Are you an extrovert, Jelly? Are you one of those people that get recharged by social interaction? Are you one of those people? Because I recharge my batteries alone. That's how I recharge my batteries when I'm away from other humans. Do you know your what is it? MTBI type, Jelly? Do you know what yours is? LASS Chrissy is a true lone wolf. No, I am. I am seriously. And the thing about it is I like it. And I almost feel bad for liking my solitude as much as I do because people just want to be around me all the time. And that is something that happens with people who are introverts and people who keep to themselves a lot. Because you're like that, a lot of times people want to be around you all the time. It's so crazy. Mhm. But yeah, like Jelly said, people, social interaction, I think it adds years to your life or something. So I'm not trying to encourage y'all to be like me. To be, you know, um an introvert or to not be social. Like I think you should, especially if that's what you want to do. Like I said, I force myself to be that way. I'm just saying I don't like to. That's all I'm saying. It's a personal preference. My world says, Chrissy, do you do the INFJ stare? I'm an INTJ, but I've heard about the stare. I can definitely look really mean, but I've learned to control my facial expressions. That's the one thing about me. I have learned to integrate into regular society. You get what I'm saying? I have learned how to code switch very well to where if you saw me, you probably wouldn't read me as an INTJ because I can be very social. I can be very talkative. I can, people for some reason they feel like they can open up to me. I don't know why. I don't know what about me makes people want to tell me all their life story. I don't know. But I'm very good at code switching. And I also, something else that I resist is wearing black all the time. I can wear black every day all day. If it was up to me, I would do that. I would wear black all the time because I love black. But, I know that life is about color. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to have color. And then two, me and my mom, we're the type of people where like for Christmas, for example, we all wore red. So there are some times where I have to wear a color. And so what I'm saying is I have learned to assimilate and kind of acclimate myself to, how other people do things just to kind of not make myself look like a sore thumb, stand out like a sore thumb all the time. So I've learned to be more social than I want to be. You get what I'm saying? So I've learned how to play the game, so to speak. So to answer your question, no, I probably do have the INTJ stare naturally, but I've learned how to fix my face and not have resting bitch face all the time because I want to be approachable to the right people, if that makes sense. Girl, I can wear black every single day. I love black. It's flattering, it's classy. You can make black look any kind of way. It's sexy, classy. You can make it look any way you want to make it look. Yeah, I agree. Color does look great on dark skin. I agree. But I'm saying, like, I say that to say, like, I'm naturally very INTJ, but I've learned how to play the game and not be that way, at least on the outside. And I think that's part of me being a Gemini rising. Gemini risings can fit in anywhere. We can fit in with anybody. We can make conversation with anybody. We can adapt anywhere. So I've learned how to play the game. But naturally, am I naturally like that? No, not at all. Is that where my heart is at? No. I'm the type of person, I'll be in the elevator making small talk with people. And inside, I'm like, I can't wait to get out of here. I don't want to talk to this person, but I'm talking to them anyway. That in my mind, that's what I'm thinking in that moment. I'm like, I wish this door would hurry up and open so I can get the fuck out of here. But on the outside, I'm like, yes. Oh, really? Did you have a good Christmas? Great. Did you get everything on your wish list? Did you have good food? Awesome. Well, you have a good new year. Bye. And then as soon as I'm out, I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Thank God. That's me. Master code switcher. Girl, yeah, I can be super fake. Super fake. Jeannie says small talk is so exhausting. Yeah, see, that's why people feel so comfortable open up to me because on the surface, I appear to be very bubbly and open minded. Jason, well, I am open minded for real, but what I'm saying is I appear to be more friendly than I actually am. Jay says, "Wait, that was you." La Regina says, "What is an INTJ?" Look it up. Look it up. Take the test and see what your Myers Briggs type is, personality type. Now, if you want a system that is based in actual science, you can look up the Big Five, and that just shows you like different levels of your personality. Like my Big Five, I know that I scored very high on openness, and I was very low on agreeableness, and then all the other ones were moderate, I believe. So, but yeah, I like all of those personality tests. They're all very like if you're into like becoming very self-aware, that is what those personality tests are really good for. Elisa says, "Can you do a video on small talk?" A whole video? Girl, I don't know about that. I don't know if I can think of enough to say about that. I'll do a whole video for you. But it's kind of just the trick is kind of allowing other people to lead the conversation. You know, you just ask a bunch of questions. That's what I do. And, you know, if they're like, there are some people who aren't open to small talk, and I love those people because I don't have to small talk at all. But if, you know, if I come across people who seem to be open to that, then, you know, I'll talk. But it's just asking questions like, around this time, again, you could say, "How was your holiday? How was your Christmas?" You know, and people like when you ask people questions like that, they just tend to like start just telling you all their business, basically. And then, you know, if they, whatever they say, you can ask a follow up question based on what they say. Like if they say, "Oh, yeah, I, you know, went to Colorado for, you know, Christmas or whatever," then the follow up question would be, "Oh, how's the weather there? How was the weather?" You know, something like that. And that way, you know, you can just um get them to kind of talk and say everything while you don't really have to share much about yourself. If that's what you want to do, you know. I'm the type of person I like to listen more than I speak, so I ask more about the person so they can do most of the talking. Noella says, "Chrissy, when you match with a man on a dating site, how long do you have to wait for him to message you before unmatching them?" I would say a couple days because, you know, people can get busy. But if they, you know, if you see that they're online the next day and they haven't messaged you, or if you see they're online for hours after matching with you, then I would unmatch because usually men who are very interested, they message you right away. But I wouldn't give it more than, you know, 1 or 2 days. Um, Dejane says, "I just feel like I'm socially awkward." Yeah, it does take practice to do small talk. It takes practice. And, you know, sometimes you might be a little awkward. That's okay. You know, don't let that stop you from doing it a second time. Miss Fila says, "Okay, Chrissy, but what if the other person is boring? You mean during small talk? Then just don't talk. You don't have to talk to everybody. I don't do small talk with everybody, especially if they're like kind of mean and standoffish. We just gonna be in this elevator, you know, in awkward silence." And that's the thing, like you guys, like sometimes things are gonna be awkward, you know, and if that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Not every interaction you have with somebody is gonna go smoothly. So some small talk scenarios will go really smoothly and some won't. Chrissy, how do you feel about slow burn relationships? You mean relationships that take a while to develop? I mean, I think that's appropriate. Like if you date while you're young, I think that's the only time I would be okay with like slow burn relationships. Um, Either young relationships or long distance. But it also shouldn't go too fast. Like I just think it needs to be like in the middle. You know what I mean? Something at a moderate pace. Sparrow says, Chrissy, do you do small talk with black men? Yeah, the black men I'm around. Yeah. Now, if I was in the hood or something, I wouldn't do it with those black men. But yeah, I mean, I just had small talk with a black guy in the gym the other day. Then there was another black guy, it's an African guy in the elevator. We had a little bit of small talk. Um, I'm around like upper class black men, so I don't mind talking to them. That it sounds so classist and so elitist, but I don't give a fuck. And it's not just the black men, it's the black women too. I don't have small talk with hood ass, ghetto ass, ratchet black people. I just don't. And I'm not around those people to have small talk with them. So but yeah, in the environment I'm in, I have small talk with everybody I come across, no matter the race. I'm just being honest. Yeah, you can't be having a bunch of small talk with no ratchet ass people in the hood. You can't do that. And it really, technically it doesn't matter the race. Just you don't want to do that in the hood, period, with anybody. Right. Jelly says definitely small talk with them if for some reason we have that kind of time together. Exactly. She says, I don't give them the cold shoulder to start problems. They don't need to know I won't date them. Yeah, exactly. They don't need to know I'm Chrissy from YouTube, okay? And now that I think about it, there are a few hood black dudes that live in my building. I don't know if they're rappers. I don't really know what they do, but they got a little bit of money. I don't really know what exactly they do. I shouldn't stereotype like that. I know one. I think there's some football player, professional football player. He's a black guy that lives up at the top floor of my building. I've never seen him, but I know that that's one, and he's kind of hood. And then there was these other two guys that I saw once. I've seen them maybe a couple times. They give me rapper vibes with the way they dress. It's very much so entertainment industry. I don't know what industry they're in, but that's kind of what it's given. And they've been friendly both times I've seen them. So, you know, I don't just hate all black, I don't hate black men just because I see them somewhere. Like, I don't try to run from them or anything like that. Again, if I was in the hood, it would be a different story. But, with the black men I'm around, they don't scare me or put fear in me or anything. Most of the people who I'm around, they have a lot to lose. They're not gonna like spaz out, usually. There's not a lot of crime that happens in my area, in my building or whatever. So I'm in a pretty secure place, thank God. Yeah, they could be music producers. They could be that. Yeah. Pink Lady says they're in corporate too, small number, but they are there. Yeah. The more established black men who live here, I'll just be honest, most of them are African. They're not black American. So I think the African guy that I ran into the last time, I'm pretty sure he's a doctor somewhere. So, most of the professional black men that I run across in this building are like not Black American. So, CA Cutie, I did a video about Travis Hunter. So you can check that out. Yeah. Green Silver says, I didn't know there was a rap entertainment scene in Indiana. Yeah, a lot of the people here who are in the music industry, um, some of them they may live here, but they travel other places. They don't stay here permanently. The people that I know anyway, that are in the music industry, like the people I know from here, the local artists that I know, they may live here, their permanent residence is here, but they're back and forth from here to California or here to Atlanta. Some people even live in Chicago. They don't stay here. Most people who are successful from Indiana, they don't live here permanently, or they live here, their main residence is here, but they're never here, unless they're like successful and professional and they work here in a professional field. But anybody in the entertainment industry, yeah, they don't stay in Indiana. They might have a house here, but they don't be here like that. 201 Star says maybe they do OF. There is one girl here that I think does OF, because in the summer I saw her in the pool, and she had a photographer like taking pictures of her, and she had huge titties. Like, I was like, she got to do OF. Like, what's the other reason why she's having these cameramen here taking pictures of her in the pool? It was definitely giving OF. Definitely giving one of those girls who make a lot of money on OF. She was real pretty too. Real pretty black girl. So yeah, I definitely think I've seen some OF people, some successful OF people in my building for sure. I live downtown, so it's a very diverse group of people here, like, that are make good money. It's professionals, it's entertainment industry people, it's people like me who do YouTube. It's just so many different people that make good money doing different things. And that's exactly why I learned how to code switch and talk to people, because you never know who you're going to meet. So, you can't walk around with a resting bitch face, if you're trying to network and kind of meet people. Because I've met some pretty decent people in this building that do interesting things. So, yeah, it's just so diverse. And that's why I like living in the middle of the city. Whereas, if you go out to the suburbs and you go to a very nice area in the suburbs, it's going to be mostly professionals. You get what I'm saying? Here, you're going to meet a little bit of everything. Somebody tell Nani, whatever your name is, what OF is. You don't know what OF is, girl. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I met Amanda Perez years ago. I was at this gay event, and I met her at the club. Yeah, she was there with her girlfriend. She's really nice in person. Dang, I'm old. Because I forgot all about Amanda Perez. That is so funny that you brought her up. Yep, she is from here. I forgot all about. Is she still around? Is she still doing music? My world says officially fat. I'm done. That is funny. Oh, Farmhouse on. Oh, she's on YouTube. I didn't know that. Huh. That is interesting. Yeah, I didn't know she was still, doing her thing. I'm trying to remember when I met. I'm pretty sure she had tattoos, yeah. And she was She was heavier too when I met her years ago. And I remember like she ended up losing weight. Yep, Angel, that's her best song. Yep. Yeah, I hadn't heard about Amanda Perez in forever. Forgot all about her. Yep. It's not a lot of people, not a famous people from here. But we do got Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is from Indiana, period. And he's the best artist, period. Oh yeah, Babyface. Yeah, I forgot about him. Yeah, and two very talented artists as far as like songwriting, Babyface, Michael Jackson. My world is so funny. And I like Janet Jackson, but I was always like a Michael Jackson fan as far as music is concerned. Like, oh my God. Michael Jackson is my favorite artist of all time. Like, you just cannot the songwriting, like just the pen, his pen is just incredible. And I know, he has some co-writers, but some of those songs he wrote by himself, just Michael. That just the talent, like his music is just oh, amazing. DJ says MJ songs are like crack. He's a true lyricist. I agree 100%. 100%. Anyway, it has been 2 hours, y'all. I have to return calls and I have to go pee. But this was fun. I won't probably see y'all again until after New Year because I have different things. And girl, my friend is trying to go out of town for New Year. I don't know if I'm doing all that, but I know I'm going to be busy. So, yeah. And hopefully, when I come back, I'll become a real YouTuber like I was last week. Hopefully, I can actually be a YouTuber. Well, y'all can catch the replay. I'm going to leave it up. I'm going to leave it up. But I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you have a great New Year. Whether you stay at home and go out and party, make sure you be safe. Don't do anything too crazy. Have fun. And I will be back with pre-recorded content next week. Make sure you follow my second channel, Fem Strategy. The link is in the description. Hopefully I will have some new content over there next week for sure. And thank you guys so much for supporting my second channel too. I appreciate that. So you guys have a good weekend, a good night, happy new year. Love you. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.